So here we have perfect little Wemby. That is spelled Wemby. It's sort of a funny name. It's like Wendy, but with an M. And actually, it fits him perfectly. He definitely is a Wemby. He's like the quietest, most adorable little 4-year-old ever. And this is his second post-track ride. Yeah, this is only the second time I've been on him. I had video from the first time I got on him, but it was a gray, cloudy day anyway, and it was just me and my mom, and then the camera filmed half of the ride as blurry. So as anyway, it wasn't the best video. It was a fantastic ride. It just wasn't a very good video. So today we came out for round two with Billy, who's back, and this horse is just so cute and perfect. He's like, I think he's the adult amateur dream horse. He is outrageously quiet. Actually, I should say, not necessarily the adult amateur dream horse. He also could definitely be a young rider's dream horse. His track connections all think that he should go to a kid. And that is so rare. I actually don't think I've ever had track connections tell me that explicitly, like, this horse would do great with a kid, but that is the sentiment on him. So he's a pretty lovely, exceptional type for his racetrack owner to be saying that to me. And I certainly agree. I mean, he absolutely is quiet enough, for a kid, obviously with adult supervision, a good trainer who's going to help them along the way, and all those things. A good structure in place to help both of them along as they figure out the things. But he certainly is quiet enough and good-minded enough. So when I rode Wemby a couple of days ago, he'd just been transitioned out of his full set of racing plates into a half set. So he got his first hot shoes on, which he was excellent for. So he has regular steel shoes on up front and then transitioning to barefoot behind. And so he is certainly more comfortable behind on his hind feet than he was a few days ago. It was quite an improvement. I still don't think he's 100% adjusted yet. Like, I'm sure if you put hoof testers on him behind, he's still going to be a little bit sore. And I still just see it a smidge to the left, but it's hugely improved. And if another, excuse me, if another week or 2 weeks go by and he's still a little bit sore behind, I'll just put hind shoes back on him. It's not that big a deal. Most of these guys adjust. It's pretty rare I have a horse that doesn't come around to being okay barefoot behind, but I mean, certainly I'm not going to, I want him to be comfortable. So if it doesn't come around too easily, we'll just stick the hind shoes back on. But it was quite improved from the last ride, so I'm thrilled. The other thing that I'm really happy about, improved from the first ride to this ride, is that he's a lot more settled in his mouth. Excuse me, I don't know why I'm coughing all of a sudden now. And what I changed is, in the first ride, I rode him in an egg butt snaffle with a peanut in the middle. And so for this ride, I put him in the Hermspringer Duo D-ring. So I think if you watched his first ride video, I had mentioned that I lunged him in a soft rubber D-ring a couple days before I rode him just to see what he was like. Excuse me again. And he was, sort of mouth open, similar to how he was on his first ride. So I didn't really put much stock in the rubber straight bar versus, just a regular metal snaffle. But then I was thinking, I didn't lunge him in the Hermspringer, and the Hermspringer is a thinner rubber straight bar than the one I lunged him in, which was a Shire's Equikind, which is just a bit thicker. And some horses prefer that. But I thought it would be worth a shot to put the Hermspringer Duo in his mouth. And I definitely think that he appreciated the thinner rubber straight bar. He felt much more settled in his mouth, much more relaxed in his lips, and all of that. And so I was really happy with that. He felt really good and much more comfortable in his mouth. Of course, it's not perfect, and some degree of it is just going to take the time that it takes, and that's totally fine. But I always like to try and tinker around with what I've got, or really any excuse for me to buy a new bit. It does not take much. So Wemby is always light. He definitely is a horse that wants to be round. I'm so sorry. I don't know why I'm coughing so much. He actually is a horse that is happy to be round, whether you actually have any contact with him or not. I dropped my reins a couple of times on this ride, once each direction. And he literally is still round, even when you are just riding him on the buckle. So he just is a very, very easy, quiet, soft, naturally round type of horse. Not a huge mover, but that's fine. It totally suits his personality, because This is not a horse that wants to jump around the upper levels of eventing. This is a horse that wants to do low level stuff with an amateur or a young rider who's just out to have fun and jump, you know, hunters, low level eventing. That's what he wants to do. So Wemby, he really rides very evenly in both directions. He finds the right canter transition a little bit easier than the left. So we went to the right first today because that is something I learned the other day doing his first ride. And he has just the most rhythmic, balanced, smooth canter that you could possibly want. I could totally see Wemby just like cruising around the hunters and doing so well because he's just so rhythmic and steady, and he's just really soft across his top line, and he makes a great natural shape. I just think it's a really pretty picture. I like to start in half seat when it's their first couple, a handful of rides. I like to start in half seat and then just sort of ease my way into the tack. And Wemby is super comfortable to sit the canter too, but he's a little bit thin. He needs some weight. He needs some muscling along his top line. So I don't want to, you know, make him back sore by asking for too much of using my seat. So I like to sort of gently ease into it, and he's great about it. It's not like he has any issues with letting me sit the canter. I'm just babying him a bit because he's a little bit of a smaller horse, and I feel like I'm a bigger person, and so I'm babying him. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And so he did the cutest little left lead canter transition over that Cavaletti. It was just absolutely adorable. Before we did that Cavaletti, I'd asked him for the left lead canter a handful of times, and each time he did a beautiful right lead canter transition. And so I tried a couple different things, inside bend, outside bend, small circle, whatever. And none of those things, every time he just has such a balanced canter that he could just so easily pick up the right lead no matter what I did with repositioning. So I thought, well, he's already walked calmly over these Cavalettis, so I don't think he'll be opposed to trotting over them. And that was the first one that we trotted over, and he just got it. He just landed in a really cute left canter, and so then we could do our left canter work. And I just thought that was quite perfect and cute. Once he's in the canter, there's no difference between the left and the right canter, both equally balanced and all the things. He's easily bending right, easily bending left. He just doesn't quite understand picking up the left lead yet, which is actually funny. Most of the times it's the other way around, but it doesn't matter. Every once in a while that happens. So after we came out of the left canter there, you see he was trying to walk. He thought we should be done. That was plenty of work, but I thought he could do one or two more loops around the ring. I wanted to drop the reins to the left and just see what he thought about that. I really like his shape here. I think that's really nice. So then here I am just sort of letting go of the reins. Oh, so here he sees Annie, who's walking alongside the ring. And he was super about that. And I didn't even bother to sort of pick up my reins again. Sometimes the horses can be a little reactive about the dogs when they're walking along the side of the ring fence like that. But Wemby is not one to care about that sort of thing. And even when you drop the reins, I still just think he makes the most perfect little adorable shape. So there you have it. That was his second ride, and I don't think I could be happier with this horse. He's just totally adorable and easy and happy to do all the things. And so this is him on cross ties, for which he is also quite wonderful.